Well, hello friends, and welcome back to DevTools Hacking. Today we're going to continue working on Hack Studio, and let's take a look at where we left off. So now we have the ability to insert widgets, and we can also select and move them around. Now, today we are going to make this little widget tree here appear, which is going to be a tree representation of the widget hierarchy that we have going on in our design view here. And my thinking is that when you select something here, it will be selected in the tree view. And this should allow you to sort of get an understanding of what things are, and then of course you'll also be able to select in the tree view, causing it to become selected over here. That's the basic idea. So let's see how we would do that. I guess we'll start with I don't know what we'll start with. We'll start with maybe putting a model in the thing. So where do we have the tree view? Here, the form widget tree, right. So we definitely want to hold on to that so that we can use it for something. So I'm guessing it might make sense to, or what do we want to do? Maybe we just want to get the model from the form editor widget. Yeah, we can just get that model. It doesn't exist yet, and it doesn't have a model, but soon it will. So then, let's see, form widget tree here. Construct null putter, and then we pass that to the property pane setup function. Widget tree view is going to be set model. Okay, then we just need to go in the form editor widget and set up a model here. So this thing should return a model. Guess we will define it as a class form widget tree model. Widget tree model. Like that. And okay, and then we can define it here in form editor widget CBP for now. Editor widget form widget tree model is a final public G model, and DOM tree. Let's steal from DOM tree model from the browser, just because it's easier. Form widget tree model, because tree models, models are usually very similar to each other. Unexpected G model. These models are often very similar to each other, obviously, because it's a lot of boilerplate. So, form widget tree model. What this is going to do is just going to expose the widget tree of the form widget, however that looks. So I guess we can have like a widget icon to denote a child somehow. Not sure yet. Something like that. And DOM tree model is a little bit of a chunky class, actually. Maybe we should put this in a separate file. Maybe we'll call it a widget tree model instead of form widget tree model. And widget tree model. Okay. And tree model. and none of you. Document is going to be widget instead. And and where was it? Form editor widget, CPP. Let's just take this guy. And go to widget tree model.h instead. Yeah, right. And instead of form widget, we'll just call it widget tree model. Make it a little more generic, because form widget is, I mean, the concept of the form widget so far is just about having some kind of hook point for GWidget, because in Hack Studio we're really just putting a GWidget in the UI, but then we're adding some bells and whistles that allow you to edit and manipulate the widget, and that's sort of what form widget and the form editor widget container are about. Just adding editability to a GWidget. I'm not sure that the design is the best one or it's going to be the final one, but it's what we're working with right now. So this thing was going to offer up a model, right? But instead of offering up a form widget tree model, we'll just offer a widget tree model. But there's nothing too crazy about that. And then here, when we implement that model, return widget tree model. I guess we can just construct it here, right? Widget tree model, create form widget. So we need to include this puppy. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we have one of these, and what's it gonna do? Probably something a little bit more exciting than this. So we just have to take this DOM business here, and instead of having the internal, we don't need white space collapsing. That's very DOM specific. So indices into the widget tree model, they're going to have internal data that point to the GWidget directly. So instead of node, which we're using in the DOM tree model, we'll just use GWidget. And then carry GWidget pointers around. That'll be pretty straightforward. And of course, we'll need to include GWidget for this to make any sense. And let's see, child at index. We don't have that in GWidget, but we do have child at. Oh, but that takes a point. But we do have children at, which is what? Oh, at dot. What can we get here? This is GWidget reference. So take the address of it, shove that in the index. Okay, you have no grandparent. Then parent is the I guess if the in this case, so in the DOM case, the root of a DOM is the document node, but the root of a GWidget object tree here is going to be the main widget of the G window. Or actually, that's not even it. It's going to be whatever we say it is. So it's going to be not mdocument, but like mroot because that's what we're passing in here, the root widget. And we have to make sure that we stop at the root when we traverse parents and traverse ancestors. So no grandparent, parent is the document, parent is the root. So if parent, no parent is mroot. Footer? Does that make sense? Oh, wait, hold on. If no parent is root, then return root. Yeah. Otherwise, walk the grandparents' children to find the index of a node that we can rename to widget. Parent, first child. Let's see. We want to walk the grandparents' children to find the index of widget's parent and its parent. Right, so this is always awkward. Implementing parent index is always kind of awkward. Makes me think of Sergey, because he was saying at some point that it's annoying that we have to do this, and the only reason that we need parent index at the moment is because GTreeView uses it to render, but rendering could be done without parent index. It's just that it's written in a way that makes use of the parent index to draw the little tree lines. Anyway, so let's see. Here we can iterate the children in a bit easier way. Grant child in widget parent children. Boom. Oh, we already had that. Okay. Grandparent child is the same as widget parent. Then we found it. Right. Okay, so it's not terribly awkward if you're just copying code. And in this case, widget, we'll rename widget and children.size, very similar to the DOM. Maybe the libhtml DOMs should have child nodes stored in a vector instead. Just put them in a disjoint tree structure for now with like separately allocated nodes, but it might make sense to put DOM children into a vector. I know that's something we always wanted to do in WebKit, but it was very complicated there because of the memory layout of the objects. But here, there's no such complication. Anyway, let's see. If widget, I guess we'll always use the widget icon here for now. And for display, we'll always say widget class name. Maybe something like that, or maybe even that. Maybe we'll put the rect here. No, not register local shortcut action. Relative rect to string characters. Might be an interesting way just to see which is which. And Hack Studio. Yeah, well, of course that was not going to build. What did I say? M document somewhere still? That's very silly. Root. No member name model. Oh, because we don't have widget tree model here. So we don't know what that is. Okay, so now we can see the form widget And if we add something, then can't see anything. But if we, if I drag the thing around, then we crash and things get bad. And we really need to tell the widget model, the widget tree model, to update itself. So I think we can just call update on it when the when we add any new widget. Let's see how we do that in practice. Factory. Where do we call the widget factory? Right here. Okay, so here we'll have to say gform editor widget model update. It's a little bit hairy, but I mean, this is not well abstracted at the moment, but we are still discovering, so it's okay. So now we added it, but the model didn't update, seemingly. Okay, now it did. So now, can we open this, or is it just totally busted? Seems like it's just totally busted. We are crashing. Something. So what am I screwing up here? So the parent index, it doesn't look right at all, because the typical bug that you get if you don't implement parent index correctly is that you can see that these little tree lines here, they don't look right because it's continuing here, even though it shouldn't. And if I click on it, then things go really wrong. Did update selection, and it calls parent on a gmodel index, and then we die. So it's clearly not implemented right. Because we do a null dereference. On what? Oh, shite, I guess maybe on this right here. How far into it are we? 106 bytes. Parent. We are not checking that there is a grandparent. If parent is root, but what if I'm clicking on the root? Then we don't go here. So what if widget itself is the root? I guess that's the condition we were forgetting to check. Oh, that's this condition right here, actually. If there's no parent, then it's that condition. Right. Okay, yep, now it's looking better. And we click that, and yep, radio button shows up with a timer. Because all buttons have a timer inside of them, but that's a bit annoying because I don't want that here. I only want widgets to show up. I don't want C objects, arbitrary C objects like C timer, to show up in the widget tree. So how do we do that? I guess we just get rid of, we don't want to do all the children, but we want to do only child widgets. So we can do something like this. Children at row. I think we're going to have to do it this way, and it's going to be a little bit inefficient because we're going to have to produce this thing on the fly. Children. And we'll do the same with parent, actually. Instead of parent, we'll say parent widget. This will skip over any non-widget parents. And then in GWidget, child, for each child widget, right? So we'll just make a helper for this. Something like, I guess something like this. Child widgets. No, not like that. Vector to GWidget. Children. Children append child. Wait, what am I screwing up here? No matching member because of the const. For each child. Why are you not const? Okay, this is gonna be a big rebuild, I guess. Okay, this is getting too messy. Let's do this in a cleaner way, or a more surgical way, actually. So instead of messing with this right here, we will just walk the children. If child is widget, children append child, return children. Yeah, this will do it. So it won't be maximally efficient, but we can live with it. Part of me wants to make this const, like a const value type, just to signal to the caller that like this, there's no point in changing the contents of the vector, but at the same time that's also kind of meaningless because I wouldn't want you to not move the vector I give you somewhere in case that's what you want. So the fact that it's a value type and not a const reference or a reference should communicate to the caller that it's the snapshot rather than the actual storage. Widget tree model. Grandparent child. Right, okay. Just a little ampersand there that we don't need. And maybe we don't need that window either. Okay, let's put one of these in, and what do I need to do to get it to show up over there? Now it doesn't show up at all. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so child widgets. Oh, no, look at that. Oops, oopsie doopsie. We should probably call this something else. Widgets. That was a silly mistake. Oh, and we can just rebuild the parts that we care about right now. Don't need to do that full rebuild because we already confirmed that it works at least, or at least it builds. So this should give us a widget. But why did I need to force a paint somewhere? I guess in Hack Studio main, really, where we did forced model update. here we should also probably, I would expect this to actually repaint the view, because we would call it did update model. And when did update model is called on a tree view, then we update the content size, but we don't update the picture. Seems like, well, we should probably do that. So I should definitely repaint, because otherwise we end up with this where like I add a widget, it's here, but it doesn't show up until I well, now it doesn't show up at all. Okay, why are you not showing up, you jerks? But we're gonna need that regardless. But child widgets. I just did the whole thing again. What's wrong with me? Okay, and I need to const cast myself to get to this. Fine, whatever. I'll do that. I'm not ashamed. Now what? Child. Alright, this is very silly. No matching member function for call to append, because child is a... What is child? Is that a const G widget? Oh. The children vector has C objects in it. That's cool. We just static cast them. Aha. Okay, wow. 38th time is the charm. So now I guess we should start thinking about what we want to do about selection, like when you select something in this thing. I think tree view also doesn't have multi-selection, so that's going to be an issue. But we'll see that everything works at least. All right, come here, you big jerk. There we go. Got that plus sign telling us there's something good in there. But it was too good. Child widgets crashing. Oopsie. Our row count got too big. Probably. Why are we crashing in child widgets? Okay, how am I screwing this up so much? What am I doing wrong? G widget is asserting. So I'm going past the end of children, is that it? This function? An at. But why is that? A tree widget tree model row count calls child widgets size. Okay. Well, I'm just going to move this out of line right now because I'm tired of editing it in the header. But what the heck? How am I messing this up? What the heck? We can ensure capacity here to make it a tiny bit faster by just saying children size. Child and children. Okay, something here doesn't add up. Okay, if I try to open that, then child widgets. Now this one is crashing. With a null read. What are you? Non-null ref putter at. So am I calling this on a null pointer then? Is that what I'm doing? I guess I am probably. Is this still this situation here? Where I'm calling parent widget, child widgets, and there is no parent. I guess that's probably what I'm doing. Widget, parent widget. What should happen if that's the case? I guess we can take care of that in the same way. So like if widget, parent widget has no parent widget, we can say, well, that's not valid. But I'm a little bit confused by this scenario. So let me just see that that is what's happening. It's I mean, it's something obvious. It's just not mapping into my brain correctly at the moment. So I open that, and what exactly? Child widgets still failing there. Child. Okay, I need to do some printf here to figure out what the frick's going on. Getting the child widgets of this debug. There are children. Child. Child. Is widget. Is widget. Okay. Now tell me about yourself, you silly program. What is going on? Okay, here, come here. See, this here is a suspicious number of children. So we are definitely calling child widgets on something that we shouldn't be calling child widgets on. Let's say why are we calling it on that thing? Lucky for us, there's not many places where this is used. So if not parent is valid, Parent internal data, blah, blah, blah. And who was calling this? Row count. Row count at an index calls widget child widget's size. Okay. So this index has some bogus internal data. Or is it the root, perhaps? Because I guess if we are, let's see who we're asking the row count for. If index is not valid, then you have 1. You have 1, and that is the root. So and then we have the root. This doesn't seem right. So I think this is where I've screwed up, because we're looking for wait, what am I trying to do here? Why? Okay, this data structure, this freaking tree model stuff is, I keep hitting my head on it, and there has to be a smarter way to make this, or there has to be a way for me to be less dumb or something, but I keep struggling with this. This is silly. Let's just say which thing we have checking on here. So row count for widget. We can also say root footer, just for reference, and then we'll know what we're checking on, and we'll know what the root is. Okay, so row count for So we already asked about the root. And then I guess what happens then? What the heck happens then? Update content size, traverse and paint order. Gotta take a look at this. What the hell does it do? And who calls parent index, by the way? It's done by the paint event. Only the paint event calls parent. Trivia paint event is the only thing that ever calls that. So we're not here, we're not doing a paint related thing. So this shouldn't be about that. So is it index that we are screwing up? If the parent is not valid, so for row count, there's only one if the parent is not valid. So this is essentially a parent, right? So it has 1 if the index is not valid, which corresponds to this index right here. If the parent is not valid, then the root is the only thing here. Otherwise, the index is the parent node child widgets at row. This makes some sense to me, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely screwing this up somehow. So how about we just forget about this whole thing? We just screw this function. I just want to see if this is messing with me somehow, because I... Okay, well that failed fast. Now I just clicked on it. Child widgets, still failing. So we're calling child widgets on an invalid pointer in row count. We know that much. So this is not a valid widget. So we have an index with some internal data that we shouldn't be calling child widgets on. And where did we produce this? It has to have been produced here. And mroot is always a widget. And child widgets at, is it possible that this is garbage somehow? I guess we can do this here. We'll say child widget is parent node child widgets at row. Fucking void star again, same as last time. Oh, okay, yeah, that was the problem. So, because create index takes a void star, you can pass any pointer to it. And I had one too many ampersands here, so I was giving it the address of the frickin' widget pointer. Okay, well that was a silly mistake. Look at me getting all paranoid. Alright, come here, you. I can't believe I had the same exact stupid bug 2 videos in a row, basically. It's very silly. Well, whatever. So now we can see these guys over here. It's really cool. And what about when we move them? You don't see it right away. In fact, you don't. I would like the text to change immediately when I would do this. So let's see, where do we do the set relative rect here? I think this was just me being paranoid. Hex studio main, or no, it was in the cursor tool, right? Set relative rect here. We should probably update the model after we move some of the selected widgets. So mEditor model updates. Boom. Of course, that's an incomplete thing. Now we should be able to drag the widgets around using the cursor tool, and we should see their coordinates change live over in the widget tree. So come here, you. gonna need to make this a little bit bigger by default, I think. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? Let's have 2 of them. So checkbox 2. And give me the cursor, and let me choose both. And oh, it's really laggy with all the text going on back here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. I wonder if the text is probably not the only cause for lagginess, for sure. Itchy. Freaking itchy nose. This is definitely not efficient, so I could imagine that we are sucking a little bit here. Row count. Let's do less printfing in general, just to get a feel for if this is extremely slow. Because like, it's okay with some slowness when you're developing something like this, right? But you don't want to be like obnoxiously slow. So let's have a second thing, and what if we select both? I don't know why they popped like that. Okay, and now without all the printing, they're actually more reasonable, and that looks so damn cool when they moved the update over here. Love it. Oh, wow. That was a bit of a hassle. Now the selection stuff, like how do we do that? I guess first thing is let's commit what we have already, because we have a bunch of things. So let's do tree view first. Tree view. Repaint in response to did update model. Always repaint. This could definitely be more efficient, but this is more correct than doing nothing at all. Okay, and then the frickin' child widgets, apparently extremely difficult to write function for some people. Oh, I so want to sneeze. Well, we'll see if I can make it. It is quite inefficient. Okay, construct vector on each call, but it's also very useful. Each time. Let's just say quite inefficient. Yeah, because I'm not even really sure that we do need it. It's just the way I ended up implementing this right now. And then all of these changes are just about hooking up this model thing, right? Yeah. Commit hack studio. Show edited form widgets. Widget tree in the tree view. This patch introduces a simple widget tree model that models the widget tree inside of a given root GWidget. Okay. But about the selection, so let's do it like from the tree to the, or how does tree selection even work? Let's look at what tree view mouse down event even does. Okay, so tree view has a selection, but when you click on something, if the selection is not the index, then the selection becomes the index. That's it. So there's no multi-select here. Well, we can probably add it quite easily. So we'll say if event modifiers and mod control, then selection toggle index, else if there's no control, then we will selection set the index. I think that would probably be okay. And how do we do when we paint? How do we know if something is selected? Select key down event selection. So like it's sort of in this old way of thinking that it only looks at one selected item. So like selection first, so whoever's first in the selection object in the gmodel selection. We should allow you to have multiple selected. But we're probably not going to do full multi-select support for trees right now, but we can do at least a little bit. If selection contains, yeah. So when we paint, we just check if selection contains the index. So then it should sort of work. Now it should allow us to control select multiple things in the tree view. But let's verify that that's actually true. So if we add some blah blah blahs, Spinbox. Oh, yeah. Damn it. Okay, I'm not sure yet what to do about this because like Spinbox is a composite widget that has widgets inside of it. But I don't want those to show up here in the widget tree probably, because this is supposed to be about like high-level widgets that you yourself have placed in the. Damn, that was so weird. Because it's exactly what you can see here. Like now, this is supposed to be a Spinbox, but as you can see, a Spinbox consists of multiple sub-widgets. So it has a text editor that has scroll bars, and it has these buttons for increment and decrement. And because of the way Hack Studio works right now, I can frickin' drag these around. And this is definitely not what I want, because I just want my Spinbox to be a Spinbox. But it is adorable though. Anyways, that's something that we're gonna have to fix. Oh, and I keep forgetting to test the multiple select, which is why I came here. So, yep, that works. It's pretty good. And if you click on one with control and not held, then yeah, it deselects everything and selects that one. Maybe if you click outside, it should unselect. Maybe we should do that. Tree view, mouse down. If index at content position, so if you're not clicking on anything, but if event button is mouse button left and event modifiers, let's see, let's say that you're not holding control, just for simplicity. Selection clear. Okay, and then if event button mouse button left. Just for simplicity, let's do it that way. And actually the same thing here. Okay. Now we want to react to this in Hack Studio, where we set this thing up. So the tree view, the form widget tree view, should have an on selection change callback. That what's it gonna do? I guess form widget tree view selection for each index. And then we're going to have to select these. So how do we do that? We do G form editor widget selection clear, and then G form editor widget selection add static. I'm going to convert those index internal data that we get here to G widgets. Non-const value, right? So, or is it just called data maybe? No, what's it called? I forget. Gmodel data, Gmodel index. Where are you? Internal data, right? And it's void star. Oh, duh. Okay, just needed to dereference it. Okay, and that, and we'll drag these apart. Okay, so we need to actually trigger a repaint, but it seems like it sort of works. Let's just say form editor widget update. So that we can see the change right away. Gonna have to improve this widget placement eventually. Okay. Bloop, 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 bloop. Ah, man, that's so cool. What happens if I select the form widget and then I drag them all together? Yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. We should probably not allow you to select the form widget. So let's see. If index dot internal data is equal, it's not equal to G form editor widget form widget. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so note. Make sure we don't add the form widget itself to the selection, since that would allow you to move the form widget. Okay. And let's try to do selection in the other way too. So with the cursor tool, if you click on one of these guys, so I guess maybe we could hook this up in the widget selection class. Maybe this thing should use the model directly, actually. No, let's do it this way. Let's see, is empty, toggle, so set. We really need to only care about remove and add here. So when you remove a widget from the selection, then we also need to remove it from the tree view model, from the tree model. So let's have a way to get to the parent first of all. So widget selection is going to have a pointer to its parent. Form editor widget. Just so we can access the stuff. And then add, we'll say mEditor model. or we need to get to the selection, actually. Okay, maybe this is the wrong design here. Hold on. Let's make it callback based or hook based instead. That might be better. Let's see. So we'll just do function on remove, which will get a G widget like that, and we'll also have on add G widget like that. Okay, and if on remove widget. Okay, then we can here where we set this thing up, we can do something like form editor widget selection on add. So we add something, auto widget, then we want to form widget tree view selection add, and now we need a G model index for a frickin' widget. Like, how do we do that? I guess form editor widget model index for widget. I don't know, we don't have that yet, but we'll have to create it somehow. On remove. Okay, maybe that's what we need to do. And then this thing needs to have a G model index. Okay, my computer froze there for a moment. I hope it doesn't screw up the recording. We'll see. Sometimes I know it gets out of sync, the video and audio, when that happens, and it's kind of irritating. Anyway. Widget tree model. Index for widget. And the tool that we have at our disposal is this guy right here. Index. But what we really need to do is produce this thing right here. So, widget, and the parent node is the widget.parent widget. And we need to figure out where he is in his parent. So, don't we have that somewhere? Right here, yeah. Parent child index. And this thing is really the sibling. Or let's call it the parent child. As weird as that sounds. Parent child is me. And create index, parent child index 0, widget itself. Otherwise, return an invalid index, I guess. Does this make sense, I wonder? We'll see. Bloop, and bloop, and drag these. Oh, look at that, it's selected. And now this one is selected. But the other one didn't get unselected. Damn it. Okay, so this seems to kind of work. But if I click on this and I click on that, now this one didn't become unselected. Why did that not work? Selection on remove. Are we removing it correctly, I wonder? Widgets remove, widget clear. Oh, I guess cleared, right. Clear doesn't call on remove for everything. So if we call clear, then we'll say if on clear, on clear. We'll have a callback hook for that as well. So these are the three manipulations that we allow you to hook. Cool. Selection on clear, and then what we do is form widget tree view selection. No, this was not the right thing at all. Selection clear. Boom. That maps really nicely. So yeah, so this is just converting between like the widget selection object and model selection object that this particular widget tree view here is using. It's a little bit convoluted, but it should work. That's what I say, but maybe I'm wrong about this. Okay, wait. Now nothing works. Why don't you let me do anything? What the frick? Is it because I click here and then it triggers a clear and then the clear here triggers a clear backwards or something? Maybe that's it. So I guess we would end up here. On selection change. So maybe we should do something like disable hooks. Well, this is kind of cheesy, but it'll work. Okay. Hooks enabled, true. If the hooks are enabled, then we'll do this. If on remove, if m hooks enabled, and okay. This whole design is a little funny, I feel like, but we don't have to be married to it. Hopefully it will work for us for the moment. Okay, now I can click on them and we are switching between them. And we can also do it over here. How cool is that? Plop, ploppity plop. And if I select the form widget, and this guy, and I try to drag it, then I'm not dragging the form widget exactly the way that I want it. So maybe we should make this one a little bigger by default, just to make a little space. I think that's here. The form editing pane container is the right-hand side pane container. Wow, it's getting a bit chunky, this program. Maybe the program itself is going to have to get a little bigger. Yeah, I think that's okay. Maybe we'll even move it up a little bit on the screen. Why not? Oh, no, not X9, X90. Details. Man, Hack Studio is shaping up to be pretty cool, I have to say. Like, I'm really happy with the way it's gone so far. Okay, so and I can select. Oh yeah, this has to change, but probably not going to work on that right at this very moment. Wait, what the heck is that? Oh, maybe I accidentally clicked. I feel like I lost the selection just from mousing over, but I think I somehow accidentally clicked. Probably widgets should have a way to say like, hey, I'm a composite widget or whatever. Anyways, I think maybe this is going to be it for today's video. So let's just make a commit here with what we have. The selections. Oh wait, what did we do in tree view? Tree view. Making it possible to multi-select with the control modifier, right? Look gooey. Make it possible to multi-select with control modifier. Tree view, right? And then all the rest in Hack Studio. Reflect widget, form widget selection. Reflect widget selections and form widget tree view. Can now manipulate the widget selection either by clicking and dragging using the cursor tool, or by interacting with the form widget tree view. Pretty neat, pretty neat, I have to say. So yeah, I think we're done for today here. Oops. This freaking mouse bugs. I have to. Sometimes the mouse glitches out if I'm pressing keyboard at the same time, like this. I don't know. I have to do something about that. But yeah, this is awesome. So if you made it this far with me today, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out, and I hope you saw something interesting. This is really fun. So it's good to struggle a little bit with the tree view stuff, because either I'm learning it and understanding it better, or I am building frustration towards implementing something different. I'm not sure which one we'll end up with, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.